The views expressed on this podcast are based on a satirical and at times comical view of the subject matter. So don't get your panties in a wad. Live long and prosper, fuckers. Let's get the show started.
Big O! It's showtime!
This isn't a Tempest universe, man. Hold on to your ass. You're in for a hell of a ride.
Welcome to the Hump Day edition of the Tempest universe. And first and foremost, I want to say happy Dolan. Well, shit, I just mixed it all up. Happy birthday to Big O, who passed away March 29th of this year. He would have been 39 today. So there you go. Funny how the actual podcast episode actually landed on his birthday. Initially, for weeks, I was thinking about doing another tribute episode, but it almost doesn't fit. Almost doesn't fit. I think it's enough just to recognize the fact that he contributed to the show early on, and that we've lost someone on the podcast that was important to old Manny of the Moonraker, but still, I think that when some of our family members and the people close to us pass away, we really shouldn't forget them, because you can just imagine if you pass away for whatever reason and then the whole fucking world just forgot you. I figure it takes at least 2 generations before that should happen, so I'm trying to make it, so that when I kick the bucket finally, it'll be like about maybe 3 or 4 generations. We'll see. We'll see what happens, for fuck's sake. Anyway, like I said, it is Hump Day. We were expecting to see news articles today regarding the classified release of the UAP report to Congress, because that's what some of these stories were saying early in the week. There's nothing. Nothing has been leaked. No one's really talked anything about it. And now they're saying that possibly it'll be Friday, the 25th, where the actual classified report is going to be released to members of Congress. And then sometime later on, they'll, decide to throw some tidbits to us, get a little bit of information in a redacted report. So, I don't know. Who knows what the hell's going to happen? Honestly, at this rate, a few months ago, they said it's the government. The shit's going to be late. So your redacted report version is probably not going to show up till Christmas. So I don't know. We'll see. You got 2 days to really rip them a new one. Not that they give 2 fucks about it, right? So, hey, it is what it is. Earlier today, before the podcast, I was chatting it up with the one and only Ronnie Dawson. So he will be here on Monday, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, to talk about his experience at the UFO Mega Conference in Laughlin, Nevada. So I can't wait. Well, I can't wait for him to share some of the stories that he shared with me since he was back. So I'm telling you, it's going to be a Grand Ole Opry type of time. He's going to give you some stories. Not to me, they weren't shocking, because I expect some of these guys to just go out and have a good time, right? They're in the middle of a week-long mega conference. Why not just let the hair down or the wigs or whatever it is? But Ronnie just made a few connections there, and he also found out he has shared experiences with some of the other experiencers that were there. So it's crazy, and I think we'll have to go back and at least have Ronnie give us a little bit of the backstory. For those of you who never listened to UFO Buster Radio, You'll get a little bit of the backstory from Ronnie, kind of like to bring everybody up to speed so that you can figure out for yourself what you think about it, but also the reason why he was a presenter at the mega conference. So fantastic. There's also a video apparently that was recorded about his presentation, and it's going to be on DVD somewhere. So hopefully by the time he gets here on Monday, he'll have that info. But if not, we'll share it later on. So we got 4 articles for you today that we're going to talk about. 2 of them, of course, what we're seeing in these articles, just to give you a bit of synopsis on these 2, is that we had the information leak about the UFO report that's going to the Intelligence Not Very Intelligent Committee. And people, because they haven't seen the report yet, they're starting to, kind of try to figure out what the hell it is that whoever leaked the info actually saw in the report. And basically the mindset of the Pentagon, the Department of Defense, the Navy, and those folks that are on the Intelligence Committee, what their mindset is when it came to that summary. So there's actually 2 articles like that were published in the last few hours. So fascinating stuff. Then we're going to go to space news. And lastly, we are going to talk about these peeping Tom planets. Finally, somebody decided to look at it from ET's point of view. It's a fascinating article. I think you guys will like it. But just to say that China is really doing some work.
China. China, 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 China now, China, China. China.
I know China very well. China, 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 China.
China, China, China.
Northwest Wisconsin, where I'm from.
It's China to me, China. China, 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 China. You want to buy from China? That's great. Buy from China. Buy
Once you get him
from
started,
China.
he doesn't really stop.
China, China.
But there you go. The man made his point. China apparently is shooting for a 2022 space station completion. So we talked about this before in the last few weeks that China is fed up with the ISS and I guess the politics of the planet. So they're building their own damn space station. I don't know. They're going to have, again, the one-up. First of all, they got these crazy crafts that they shoot up to the moon and Mars. They're like fucking Transformers. But now they're going to have a brand spanking new space station. I mean, hopefully, this thing does not end up dropping down on our heads as everything else that they shoot up does. For fuck's sake.
When
for me sweet lullabies. Bright nights of everlasting darksome days. Bright nights and wearing the stain you made on me. And I wait and I wait and I wait and I wait for the bright nights to lead my way through the maze.
Okay, I want to say what's up to the guys who are in the live chat right now. We got Dre, The Norm, Game Vet, Green Man, and Game Vet's out on the road right now. Who else we got on here? Who did I miss? Looking. Nobody else yet, but people tend to show up as the show goes on because we are missing the one and only from down under, Dave. So he might show up later, who knows. Anyway, let's get started with today's madness. Oh, by the way, Green Man's in there as well, also known as a.k.a. Tom Selleck. This report that I have here is called the Rocket Report. It comes from artstechnica.com, and it looks like they do this like either monthly or weekly. It's pretty cool. It kind of wraps up all the rocket madness that's going on. You got SpaceX on one side, you got China, you got Bezos and his crew, and everyone else that's in this space race, this new space race from a corporate space race. It's really what it is. But on this one, and mind you, click on this link and check it out. Get up to date on the corporate space race, because there actually is about like 9 or 10 mini articles in this thing. It's pretty informative. It just catches you up. But the one thing that I have not been seeing a lot of news on until recently was SpaceX. I was wondering why didn't they, relaunch SN15? Why did they bring out SN16 and nothing's happened? What's been happening down in Boca Chica is they're focusing on building the suborbital tower, which is going to hold the super gigantic silver phallus, which includes the super heavy and also whatever starship number they end up at. I think they said it's either going to be SN20 or SN22. One of those is going to be the one sitting on the super heavy. Significant in size. It's huge. Like if you thought 17 was bad, this thing it's fantastic. But if you look at the image for this particular episode, it is the current construction of that tower, that suborbital tower. Now that first launch, it uses that tower, is going to be dumped. It basically will end up in the Pacific somewhere. Now, will the super heavy come back? I don't know. Might be the whole gigantic silver phallus is just going to be lost in the Pacific. Though I would imagine the SpaceX wouldn't just leave it out there. They'd get some people to go pick that shit up. But that's what's happening. But the launches, for some reason, have kind of curtailed, right? SN15, finally, we got one. Did not blow up after the fact. It wasn't a rapid disassemble. So we were happy about that shit. Let's do it again. Apparently the conservationists are going freaking crazy. They're not just complaining about the environment down in Boca Chica. These folks are looking through every paper that was given to SpaceX or that SpaceX signed with the local government or whoever it is, or they gave them certain privileges. Apparently, they found a loophole that says that SpaceX has launched not launched. They've closed the local roads way too many times. We know, and this is the problem with SpaceX, right? Because they say they're going to launch on the 1st, and it's like the 28th when they finally launch. But in between, they've closed the damn roads like 1,000 fucking times. Where apparently they were only allowed to close those roads a limited amount of times for the entire year of 2021. And I believe that was like 108 times. So they've surpassed that. So now the conservation is down in Boca Chica. They've got one on SpaceX. They basically cannot continue to close the roads. Hey, listen, that's dumb as fuck. Because if I lived in Boca Chica, for damn sure, let me know when the fuck the rocket is taking off. Because I don't want to be there if it backfires on you. And we know this shit can blow up. We've seen it. It's all over fucking YouTube and the news. But here's the other issue that also happened to them, which is kind of fucked up, right? So on Friday, June 11th, the Cameron County District Attorney, Louis Saines, he actually wrote to the SpaceX Senior Director, Mr. Patel, and says, hey, you guys closed 2 county roads near Starship, near the site in South Texas. The roads were Remedios Avenue and Joanna Street, and those roads are just off of, State Highway 4. But here's what happened. So some of the staff members from the DA's office were actually on those roads, the, quote-unquote public roads, and some of the SpaceX security tell them to turn the fuck around. So they're mad. They're mad as fuck. So you got the conservationists on one side saying they need to stop. They're done. They've done their allotment of road closures. We need to stop SpaceX from closing these roads, which is, in a lot of ways, is dumb as fuck. Like, that's the wrong thing for them to fight about. And then on the other side, we got the DA's people where the SpaceX security was like, no, you can't come down this road. Turn the fuck around. Go back home. But apparently those roads were not supposed to be closed. So now we got a problem at SpaceX. Now we got issues, man. We do. The district attorney said this: the actions of SpaceX and its staff may constitute crimes in the state of Texas. Are you fucking stupid? What crime is there? I mean, take another fucking road. And it says, it continues to say, this letter that he wrote to Patel, that the conduct is unacceptable, and I strongly believe you, Mr. Patel, and SpaceX also knew it was unacceptable. What the fuck? What is up this guy's ass? Really? I mean, come on. It is for your safety, dude, and the rest of your DA people. No. Turn them the fuck around. And apparently that SpaceX and Mr. Patel have not replied. Shit. I mean, what are you going to say? Sure, leave the damn road open. We will launch a rocket and maybe have a few tons of rocket fuel just blow up whoever the fuck's on the road. It is a really strange battle to undertake right now because the road closures are for the safety of the people. You don't want to see the people. I mean, I know Texas has good barbecue, but you don't want the people to be barbecued. No, that could happen. In other news, the offshore launch pads are being built. Right, they've been working on those for some time. If you look online, you can see some pretty cool renderings of what these things are going to look like. Fantastic, they look great. Really, I'm sure that Elon is heavily focused on getting those things done. But I guarantee you, the nature conservationists are going to be there in their little boats, the little dinghies surrounding that thing, because they don't want any launches from there either. I don't know what it is. Maybe Elon just has bad luck. Maybe these guys are not really conservationists, and they're like Jeff Bezos employees, Amazon employees, that are out there trying to break the one and only mighty Elon Musk and his gigantic silver phallus. There's more to the crazy rocketry within this article. So hey, listen, check it out. It's just cool. It is.
quiet since you left, so don't bother. This is how I feel now. I never had it so good. Had it so good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. I feel good. I feel good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. Waking up early in the morning without you by my side, yeah. Waking up early in the morning, and baby, I feel fine. I feel fine. I don't want to start over. Finally, some peace and quiet since you left, so don't bother. This is how I feel now. I never had it so good. Had it so good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. I feel good. I feel good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. Waking up in the middle of the night, all alone. Realizing in the middle of the night, I'm glad you're gone. I'm glad you're gone. I never had it so good. Baby, I feel good. I feel good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. I never had it so good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would. I feel good. I feel good. I never had it so good. Without your love, I know I would.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
By the way, Bugs is like right under the desk right now, and he's killing the air quality with the crazy amount of farts that he has right now. And it's a weird thing. Like, I went out and I got him some specialized food, expensive as hell, but limited ingredients, and his farts are just amazingly worse. Like, it was good for like a few weeks, and now it's like it's back to normal. I don't know what the hell he's doing. He might be eating his own poop. I don't know. This article says maybe aliens really are here. This is from scientificamerican.com, and it's actually written by a gentleman by the name of John Gertz. Now, the reason I picked this article is because John Gertz is he's putting his own hypothesis together. He really is. And the weird thing is that John is not the only one that has this hypothesis. Actually, before even John came on the scene regarding this, people have talked about this this take on aliens a long time ago, right? But all of a sudden, they're applying this to the UAP report. They're trying to explain why we had such a crazy-ass summary, which we haven't even fucking seen yet. Anyway, so John Gertz says that SETI, has been around for some time, right? And they have this strategy of kind of observing artificial signals, which, for fuck's sake, it hasn't worked for them at all. So if you look at the article, it really gives you the overall history of SETI, basically, and what they've been doing, right, in their search for intelligent life form out there, and it's not panning out for them. Let's be honest. They got a couple of wild signals here and there, some fast radio bursts, but then That's it. There's nothing, it's all lackluster. There's nothing good there. And we just don't know. But Gart says, listen, let's look at it from this way. You know, we got this report, we got this summary that's like, it's perplexing us, that our own government doesn't know what the hell is going on. Everything's unexplained. And so maybe the hypothesis is that these aliens are not exactly just showing up and popping off technology so that we can hear it, but instead they're sending robotic probes. And I'm not talking about the ones that you get when you get abducted, not the small, portable ones. He's talking about like drones, kind of. These drones, these UFOs that are being piloted by maybe an artificial life form that basically gets sent out. And, maybe, for example, they could, spend about a 200 million year interval, hanging out at particular solar systems, trying to figure out if these planets have biosignatures that eventually turn into technosignatures. Signs of life, intelligent life, using technology. And he says, look, it is very possible that an advanced life form can program a couple of bots or whatever you want to call them in order to basically, set it and forget it. Stick them in a certain area of the universe or a solar system and just leave them there with enough power to eventually send back information. Yeah, like basically they just leave them here, like permanent fixtures within the solar systems. So that's his theory, basically, right? He says once you put a permanent probe somewhere and it detects artificial life or electromagnetic leakage, it could be an indication of multicellular life, and that has become technologically advanced. And so what do? You send your probes over. And apparently this is what he believes we might be seeing. That these are artificial, intelligent beings that were designed by other beings that are here to just keep an eye on us. And once in a while show up, take a couple of cows and a couple of people, put them back and shit. And that's it. And that's why they're constantly around. The funny thing is that people have been talking about this for such a long time because you can't. People just couldn't explain it. You can't explain UFOs, abductions, anything like that. But throughout history, when many people have reported abductions by those gray aliens, those little big-headed fools, that many people relate to them or describe them as being really cold and not having any feelings, but still being able to, communicate through telekinesis or something like that, that these guys really felt artificial. They felt that these guys were not living beings, but instead they were the worker bees that were sent out to do the dirty work while they reported to maybe the taller Gralians or anybody else that's involved in this. And so, the theory has been around forever that maybe our UFOs are really artificial probes or drones that are here to investigate, maybe do some scientific research, or just here to do whatever the fuck they want, as we've seen in many reports. So this is what he thinks it is. Basically, is happening. This is how they are right now. People are rationalizing the fact that, here we go again, the government's involved publicly in the UFO discussion, and everything is still undefined. Things are unresolved, unidentified. And if you use a word from Stephen Greer, basically unacknowledged. That's what he's saying. So, in a lot of ways, I get it. One argument that he poses for this, which when you hear folks like maybe Lieutenant Commander Fravor or Louis Elizondo speak about it, is the amount of G's that was seen with the Tic Tac UFO. everyone that's in the know regarding that situation, who's explained it or experienced it, they've always said no human being could survive the G's that particular UFO or UAP experienced or that they witnessed. For our author here, Mr. Gertz, he sees that as a perfect way to explain the fact that whatever was piloting this craft was not human. It wasn't biological, because it wouldn't be able to physically withstand the G-forces of what that craft was doing within its maneuvers. But then the argument there could be, of course, that, as some people say, it was enveloped in some kind of a field, a dampening field, that would keep the folks, the entities inside of it, from actually feeling the G-forces. So, we don't know. I think we're like many years from actually coming to an actual conclusion regarding these Tic Tac UFOs and so forth. It is very possible that in the near future we'll have some congressional hearings on what these reports were, what these incidents were about, or these ships. But as these things usually go, you really don't hold your breath to have any kind of a real resolution to anything that comes out of one of those hearings. I'm just saying. Take a look at the link in the description. There's more to the theory as far as why he thinks these are artificial crafts, but he's not the only one. We'll see in the next article that one of our favorite astrophysicists feels the same way. Kinda, I think. Not really sure.
Think about me one more time before you go. Someday you'll know. Someday you'll know. Already know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long. And now you're gone. Took me away from all of my fears. Kept me away from all of my tears. Now you're gone. And now I'm lost. Finally, I think I can see clearly now. I'm in love. Think about me one more time before you go. I'm in love. Took me away from all of my fears. I'm in love. Kept me away from all of my tears. I'm in
Don't fucking scream at me.
Where's
you
the money?
Fuck you. Look at you with your fucking 48% body fat and
This is how, alien groupies, UFOers, experiencers, or enthusiasts, as some people like to call those that follow the topic, they're saying this, and according to this article in Newsweek, that maybe UFOs are not human. Again, following in the footsteps of Gertz, people who are just trying to mull over the leaked summary of this Intelligence Committee report. They're like moving now towards UFOs are not human. But not only that, but they're not human-made either. You know, they're kind of saying, no, I'll rebuke you in saying that it's Russia and China. These are not human-made crafts. And we get it. Maybe they're not human at all. Maybe they're not freaking a sentient being. Maybe they're not biological. It turns out that our favorite buddy, our favorite former Harvard professor, Avi Loeb, who brought us the greatness of Oumuamua, he says he's like thinking about this too. He's like, God, what the fuck is it? Avi Loeb and Frank B. Bird, of who is a professor of science at Harvard Department of Astronomy, he says that he believes the existence of UAPs would have not been revealed to the public if their origins were from China or Russia. Because that would actually pose a real national security risk. Hey, listen, no one's really kind of put it from that angle. Everyone's been saying historically Russia and China have always been technologically behind the United States, and the Intelligence Committee has never found any period in time where they would be moving so far in advance, because many people say, who are experts, that the things that the service men and women of the Navy have reported in the Air Force, that these things are, you could almost say, a few hundred years in advance of the technology now. And so Avi Loeb and Frank Baird, they're saying the same thing. They actually wrote an op-ed in Scientific American stating that. Now listen, for these guys, these are real scientists, right? They got the pocket protectors, thick glasses. They do all of that. I've seen pictures of Avi with his glasses on, and he could probably start a fire. But Loeb says, hence, it is reasonable to conclude that the U.S. government believes that some of these objects are not human origin. And again, we go back to that argument. There's no way it could be China or Russia, because they're always behind in technology. And also, number two, because if you actually told people that it was Russia and China, you've got some splaining to do, intelligence community. Where the fuck have you been? Have you been on this shitter the whole time? Did you actually lock yourself up during COVID and didn't come out of your hole? And not even just COVID. Have you been locked up the last 80 fucking years? This is the truth. But can they answer questions on both fronts? This is what's going to happen. Because you can't tell us it's Russia or China. And we already know China likes dropping all their fucking space equipment on people in other countries, not even their own. They gave us, COVID-19. Well, they're really advanced, right? They couldn't even keep that shit under control. And in Russia, listen, the best things that we get is some great pictures of Vladimir riding, Brokeback Mountain on the horse. For you guys listening in Russia, Vesvidanya. But still, it's the truth. When you look at a lot of the Russian, space vehicles and things like that, they look really fucking outdated. They look like we're looking like, 20, 30 years in the past. How can they have an advanced vehicle so advanced that would spin the heads of some of our well-trained service men and women? What the fuck we're spending all these billions of dollars if you can't freaking follow a fucking tic-tac? Anyway, so that's what Avi Loeb is saying, right? So there's just no way that this could be a human origin. And you guys are fucking with us by trying to tell us it was Russia or China. So, scientists are starting to chime in on this leaked information, because we still don't know what the real deal is, what the report is. We haven't seen it. But he says one thing really strange that apparently many people are drawing conclusions between UAPs and Oumuamua. He says that this mysterious interstellar object that attracted so much attention since it was discovered back in 2017, cruising through our solar system at unimaginable speeds. He said that was unusual. That could have been some kind of an alien probe. He says, and I quote, "It appears to be a rocky, cigar-shaped object up to 400 meters long. That is the first confirmed body to visit our solar system from another star." And he says, for all we know, this thing could have been that thin because its mission was to convey information, pick up signals, and probably eventually report it to somewhere else. Not everyone believes what Avi does, but here's the thing. Here's where Avi just throws a wrench into this. At the very end, he ends his article by saying, at this time, the possibility that any UAP are extraterrestrial is highly speculative. Well, fuck yeah, it is. Because we're not getting any answers. All we could do is speculate. And that's why we're looking at this from 100 different perspectives, trying to figure this out. So the guys that have all the money, have all the perspective, have all the knowledge, are not giving it up. So on Friday, when this report is supposed to come out, you will get zero. Nada, zilch. Forget about it. You'll just be a little bit more depressed. You'll go out and buy some more tinfoil hats. And what can you do? Except maybe invest in some good camera equipment, just in case you do happen to find something. But I want to play this next song. Anyway, check out this article was actually in The Guardian. Check it out. But also, the original article was in Scientific American. Check that one out as well. But this next song is dedicated to my buddy Biden.
Don't force me out of bed in your society. Don't push me down the road you're bleeding down. Don't try to fix my head, it's just your anxiety. Don't hush me now, cause I just wanna shout. Don't make me dance to the tune that you're humming. No, my body don't move like that. Don't make me pretend I don't see your shortcomings. You'll be running when I'm
feel like that last song comes from Beverly Hills Cop from, what was that, like back in the 90s or some crazy shit like that. Anyway, this article is going to tell us about 29 planets that are peeping toms. Potentially could be peeping toms. There was a research that got a few astronomers together to look at this from the other angle. So normally, scientists have been able to identify over 1,700 systems in which there could potentially be a star in a habitable zone, which they call the Goldilocks zone. And that is basically, as we like to refer to the third planet from the sun, is that zone where your planet's in the right damn spot. Not too hot, not too cold, and you could have hairless monkeys running around. So this is kind of what they use, right? They look at the actual planet, going in front of that particular star, and it creates kind of like a shadow. So this is how scientists, up until they got really fancy, were using this method. And actually with Hubble, the same thing. Just looking at these freaking planets just transitioning in front of their local stars. So they said, well, how many of these planets in our neighborhood, our neck of our universe, our solar system, or how close are they that they can actually see us as planet Earth transitions across our good old yellow planet, yellow star, the sun? They actually identified over 1,700 in the in the known area, as they like to call the cosmic neighborhood, where if there was an intelligent life form living on it, they could actually see the Earth in the past 5,000 years transit across the face of the sun. Over 1,700 star systems that have those planets in them. Over 5,000 years. Out of this, 46 star systems are close enough to our planet that they could actually intercept a clear signal from our radio waves and TV waves in the last 100 years. 46 of those. Out of those, 29 are potentially in the Goldilocks zone. So they're right they're ripe for the picking. They could have hairless monkeys on them who are listening to the skies, trying to figure out if there's life anywhere else. Those 29 planets could actually see clearly the transition of the planet Earth across the sun. 29 altogether. These are the peeping toms that could have caught us. They could have caught us in our daily lives and all our transmissions over the last 100 years over, TV and radio. They could be watching I Love Lucy right now for all we know. Lisa Catton, was it Kaltenegger? I mean, it's kind of like Schwarzenegger, but Kaltenegger. I don't know. For fuck's sake, girl, get a real name. She says one way we find planets is if they block part of the light from the host star, which, girl, that's what I just said. That's what I just say. She's also the director of the Carl Sagan Institute at Cornell University in New York. And she says, we asked, who would we be the aliens for if somebody else was looking in our little tiny piece of the sky? Where would they be able to see us from? And that's where the search came from, which is fantastic. This whole transitioning of the planet across the sun gave us about 70% of the alien worlds we've been able to identify. But now, thanks to the James Webb Space Telescope that's going to launch next year, they're going to be using something else, right? They're going to be looking for signs of life in exoplanets by looking at the atmospheres of these planets. So James Webb is supposed to accelerate the way we find planets and the amount of planets that we've found so far. According to Beth Biller, who is also another professor at Edinburgh University Institute of Astronomy. According to Beth, she says what was striking to her was how few of the stars within 100 parsecs could have viewed a transitioning Earth. So basically, a parsec is about 3.26 light years. But she was just surprised that amount was so small that only 46 of those, specifically those star systems and planets in our neighborhood, our cosmic neighborhood, that there was only that little of an amount out of 1,700 star systems. So it is incredible when you think about it. But on the other hand, our universe is so large, our galaxy is so large, it is just so weird to think that with all the stars in it and all the potential planets, that only 29 of those would be able to get the full human experience from their perspective. It is something to think about when you look at the idea that we haven't identified alien life. We haven't really come close to it. But maybe this is why. Because they can't really fucking see us. As many star systems as can see us, there's very few that actually are close enough to even check out our techno-signatures. It is a fantastic article. You guys got to check it out. I'm getting a little hoarse for some reason. So this is the end of the podcast. I thank you guys for listening. The articles for today have been a little bit sciencey, but they all show that the interest in the intelligence community report is going way past the so-called UFO enthusiasts. People in science are getting involved. And there was another article which I didn't bring in today, and that was that someone is calling for the government to bring in every aspect of skilled individual, whether it be a scientist, whether it be, service men and women, to all come together and actually create some kind of a task force to identify this, but also to include civilians in that conversation, which really, come on, you need that holistic view, because a lot of the rubber dickers who get paid by the government are going to try to keep things top secret. And us, blue collar folks, we give zero fucks about it. So we will run tell that. Take video and all kind of shit. There's the end of the pod. I thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week. Maybe if on Monday when we're talking to Ronnie, by then we'll have the report handy so that we can dissect it as well. At this point, you pretty much know what I'm thinking.
Today is the beginning of the end and the start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a I don't give a fuck.
time to start doing the right thing. So trust your instinct, stop listening to others, and own your decision. People will always tell you what to do, opinion how to live. So let's create space for what matters most to you. You'll be glad you did. Now start reclaiming your time and your mental well-being by saying no more. No more. Say it loudly and proudly. In other words, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
One more for the road because tomorrow is a new day.
Get up, stretch my legs. Breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Start my day. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Drink some water, brush my teeth, get out of bed and I stretch. Bed in my hair is a mess. Look through my clothes for a fit. Anything I do is drip. Feel like a kid when I'm tick-tocking, I still keep it real as it is. I show my age, I don't switch often, I'm just as a dad as it gets. Try taking naps with my kids, talking, I'm guessing this life how it is. And I can't wait for the weekend, keep jammies on like I'm a kid. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day. Feel good, feel great, can't complain. Look out my window, see birds and planes. Sun's out, some clouds, it might rain. Siblings on my nerves again. Summertime, go for a swim. Wintertime, go grab a sled. Spring, I might need an umbrella. Fall back in school with my friends. Attitude change like the weather. My mom tell me it never ends. Like clocks, we evolve in a circle. Every 12 months, we do it again. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, get up, stretch my legs. Eat some breakfast, milk and eggs. Brush my teeth up, wash my face. Throw my clothes on, start my day.